Good morning, everybody. I have some good news and I have some potentially annoying news. The good news is, I think I just got another battery. The bad news is that I don't think we're leaving today. I legitimately did not ever expect this battery to show up. I thought that I was gonna have the one that I purchased on AliExpress and the one that came with the bike. I did not think that they would ever ship this to me, but it's here. And so now we're gonna take this and we're gonna stick it on the old bike. My bike is not designed to be able to support two batteries. I don't know where we're gonna stick it. I don't know how we're gonna wire it up, but that's what we need to figure out today because a free battery, we can't just not install it. The company that sent me the new bike, they sent me the wrong one. They sent me the model that only had one battery. And so when I got that, I freaked out. I went on AliExpress, I purchased a second battery just so I could immediately get out the door. Because when I've been talking to this company in the past, it takes like 2 months for them to decide they want to ship me something and actually sending it to me. So I thought that I would never be able to get this battery. But I sent them an email, I'm like, hey, we have a problem, and they apparently shipped this to me. I didn't think they would. So now I have 3 batteries for this bike. I only need 2, so we're gonna take this one and we're gonna figure out how to stick it on my bike. I hope it has all of the components I need. This is a lot less useful to me if this does not have the voltage distributor. Fuck yes, holy shit, this. Okay, so we've got the voltage distributor, and we've got the massive battery. And by massive, I mean 13 amp hours. It comes with its own set of keys, but as we discussed in yesterday's video, the keys are worthless. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. This little slot where I typically put my tent, this is basically the only part on my bike that I could put an extra battery. Something like this. That kind of eats into my tent storage space, but I think I could make that work if I can find a way to get it to bolt onto the frame. If I can get the sled to bolt on, then the rest of this should be easy. It's just finding a way to get this battery on there in a way that's not going to fall off and end up killing a car while I'm driving on the road. Okay, here we go. This is the sled that we need to find a way to make stick. So you can see here there's holes on either sides of this, but there's none straight down the middle, and that's what I would need. There's one screw hole here in the middle that works, so we can at least get one screw in here, and we'll figure out how to actually get it to stick later. Shit, let me put some thread locker on it first. Okay, we've got one screw in there. Let's see if the battery slides in easily. Because that means that if I want to take this battery in and out every time, I'll need to like take the tent out and the sleeping bags. It slides in pretty easily. It's not tight, obviously. Then I think I can come over here and I think I can put bolts in these screw holes just to stop the battery from sliding back and forth. It won't hold it down, but it'll keep it in place. This means it's not going to be 3 batteries that I'm trying to charge in the coffee shop. It's going to be 4. I'm going to be charging 4 bike batteries in every coffee shop we go to. Fuck. Okay, due to some creative placement of the bolts, I was able to get 2 screws in there now, and now it holds a lot better. Okay, I got this pretty well done. It's got 2 bolts in there, and this is going to be a controversial decision, but I'm just going to super glue the back part of this to the metal here, because there's literally no other way for me to stick it to it. You gotta do what you gotta do. Now we're just gonna push down on it really hard and wait for the super glue to harden. Fuck, I just realized that attaching a second battery to my bike means that my key stops working. Because I can use my key, turn the battery off, and then this thing will not provide power. But if these are wired in parallel, this one still will. To where turning this battery off does nothing. Now we've actually got to connect the wiring, which means we're probably going to need to do more soldering. Okay. Now we got to pull this panel off so we can get to the controller. I used thread locker on these screws initially. Let's see how hard they are to get off. Oh, they are super loose. That's good. Okay, let's take a look at this guy. Hey, I think we might not need to solder anything because it looks like this is the same connector that the battery is using. Oh my god, do you know how good this is to see? I was terrified I would have to... I even brought the soldering iron out just in case I would need to, but I don't because all of the connectors are the same. I feed the second wire through this hole in the back of the box. Not sure if you guys can see that. Now, this cable is obviously too long and like you're supposed to cut it short to exactly the length that you need, but I don't want to cut things and then have to resolder stuff, so we're just going to use the entire length of the wire. Then we just plug the new battery into this slot right here. We take the old battery, we plug it into this slot right here. So we take this and we plug it in here. And then we should have a second battery. Oh my god, this control box is absolutely stuffed to the brim, but luckily, I think it can fit everything. Okay, let's test the first battery by turning it on and making sure that everything can power up. Look at that, we have power, the first battery works. Let's slide the new battery in. Yeah, see, taking this battery in and out means I'm gonna have to take my tent out of my... Testing. Yep, it is able to completely turn on with this second battery. Let me just take this battery out just to super prove that that actually works. That battery is removed. We are still on. Let me test this. Yep, the motor works. I guess what we got to do now is make sure that my tent and stuff can still fit in here. These are the things that I want to store in that compartment. You got your tent right here, which you can see I've sewn back up and I fixed that. I have a heated blanket. This is the same one that I used in my car back in America, except you can see I chopped off the carport and I put a DC barrel jack so I can plug this into the inverter, and I want the camping chair. We need to get all of that to fit in there without possibly like delodging the battery. Okay, fuck. The tent by itself already takes up a fair bit of space. If I'm aggressive with it, I can get the camping chair to fit in there too. I guess now I've got to figure out where I'm going to keep this thing. I was really hoping it would be in here so that it's protected from the rain. There is a bunch of free space up here at the front. I might be able to... Yeah, if I put the camping chair in the back right here, all I need to do is find a way to get it to stay there so it's not going to fall loose. And then I think I can put the blanket on top of the... Oh, maybe not. Maybe that won't fit still. You know, the camping chair has a really nice hook right here. Maybe I could just hang it from the back like I'm hanging my sleeping bag in my tent. Okay, I think I found the solution. Rather than hanging this down, we're going to strap it across like this. And then when I want to access the stuff down here, I just flip it up. I like this a lot. God, she is so fucking heavy. I believe the only thing we have to do now is modify this bike so that these things can't hit the tires they swing by like putting a wall here to make sure that they're held out a little bit. Okay, so for this one right here, I think I'm going to take a longer, like little arm, put it right here to stop that from going in and hitting the wheel. That means we get to pull the tent out. On goes the thread locker, and then on goes the bolt. And then we snug it up tight. There, now there is no way for the sleeping pad to hit the wheel. I don't think I need to do the same thing for this side. I think I can just use a bolt because this isn't as long. So I think that I can just use a bolt and it'll hold it in place. Something like that, just something that sticks out a little bit. Let's test it. That did absolutely nothing. I'm going to try the same thing, but I'm going to move it down to this hole because I think that maybe if it's lower, it'll do a better job. So we get to undo this and then redo it. Let's try that. God damn it. Maybe my problem is that I'm using a carabiner that's too big. If I lifted this up more, that wouldn't be a problem. Let me change this for a smaller carabiner. Yeah, like now it can't even reach the wheel. We have one more change to make now that that's set up. This right here is Nicole's tent. I'm not going to be using it. I want to use my tent, so I need to get my tent to fit in that thing now. I'm pretty sure I made that to where any tent can fit. I did design it to be universal like that. So I'll just store her tent here. I'll let the smuggler take it down when he takes my bike. And then I will take my tent down to Turkey with me on this bike. And then just to make super sure that she's not going anywhere, we'll take the string and we will clip her onto the carabiner right here. Just in case this whole thing falls apart, the tent will still be moderately attached to the bike. There we go. This bike is now ready for the smuggler to take it. I'll just leave it here, and then when he's ready to pop it in his van, he'll take it to Turkey. And then tomorrow, we start riding this guy. We would ride it today, except I still need to wait for a bag to be able to carry clothes that we strap on right here. You know what? Fuck it. Let's go take this bike out for a real test. It's gonna rain, but I don't care. I'm gonna try to see if I can put my jacket in this pocket right here. It's down, so it's able to compress really tight. Look at that. Okay, we got the jacket in there. I'll take the toothbrush, toothpaste, deodorant, and we'll stick them in the main pouch. They will go in the side pocket right here. Okay, there we go. First real test of the new bike. Oh, and just for anybody curious how I get on top of here, I'm still able to swing my leg up high enough to actually get on top of it. Okay, we're gonna go right off to a town about 15 miles away and see how everything goes. Let's go. It's very possibly gonna rain on us while we're riding over there. You guys can see here, I also got the mirror stolen from my old bike and I put it on this one. I can get a new mirror for that bike later. Yeah, see, I'm pedaling, but the motors are not kicking in. There they go. It takes like a long time for the pedal assist to actually assist. Yes, we are taking the same route that we took last time on our first test. Just because... Okay, getting on and off this bike actually is fucking hard. It's much harder than on my bike. So situations like that where you need to get off the bike are not ideal. Okay, pause. I'm finding a problem. Yes, my laptop skipped out of the fucking case that it was supposed to be in. It's supposed to stay here inside these things, but it jumped out. So I probably need to make this taller. Or I need to do something to hold this in more. That's what this trip is about. It's finding all of those things so that before I actually leave, I can fix them.
Take the next right.
There's police. I think somebody got in an accident. laptop keeps falling out. I was super smart and I didn't bring any of my tools with me, so I don't have any way to like actually fix this. I might be able to use my bike keys to bend some of these metal. I'm thinking if I can bend these pieces upward, they'll hold on to the thing better. Oh, hey, there we go. The keys are working. Yeah, see, if I bend these up, it'll hold the thing better. Perfect. Fuck yeah. I don't need tools. I've got keys and leverage. Haha, haha. I take that back. I need tools. Bend back. Please still fit. Fucking hell. Okay. I need to get this back in shape. Fuck me. Fuck me. Fuck me. Fuck, it's not fitting anymore. Okay, it takes a little bit more force, but it works. This is gonna be the backup key. I will... Fucking hell, I can fix this. I can fix this. Whatever, it works, and my laptop will probably stay in there now, so I think we're good. I do just want to say how much the suspension on this bike is helpful. I can go over potholes, I can go over bumps and rivets and all kinds of stuff that would suck on my bike. This bike is so comfortable. We are going to take a sec just to make sure that everything is still attached to the bike. Make sure that nothing is breaking or falling off. Both batteries, laptop, sleeping pad, tent, tarp, sleep. Yep, I think we're good. I think we have... Backpack is still attached, it's good. Let's see how this is holding up. Okay, so I need to make sure that these flaps do not get caught in the wheel. So if I'm calculating this right, this bike is a lot lighter than my bike, so it should be able to go farther. It's got 30 amp hours as opposed to my bike's old 22 amp hours. So that means this bike can probably go 90 to 100 miles on a single charge. Probably, maybe. Pause, I just heard something fall off the bike. But I don't know what. I just heard it. I have absolutely no clue what fell off or where it fell off. I might be missing something, I don't know. It sounded plastic, like something plastic came off. But I've checked everything, and everything looks like it's still there, so I am confused. I'm sure its absence will pop up in a later episode, and I'll be cursing at myself for not searching harder now. Okay, update. I heard that sound again, like I dropped something, but I think it's actually just stuff on the road that's coming up on the tire and slapping up against the... I think it's just road stuff mucking about. When a company like Lidl decides to sponsor my YouTube channel, that's when you know I've made it. Lidl, you are the end goal. This town looks a lot less dead than the one I'm from. It's obviously still in the off season, but it's got like Billa and Lidl and actual businesses open. Okay, if this were a regular trip, we would be camping right about now. But I want to see how well this bike rides at night. Like, this bike literally has two massive headlights. The reason I don't ride my bike at night is because my light isn't bright enough to actually see where I'm going if there's like potholes. This one might be. This might actually be able to ride during dark. It's 5 p.m. and it's already almost dark. And it's just gonna get worse. It's November right now. I think the darkest day is like December 22nd. So it's just gonna get darker. I'm looking up restaurants to see if there's any good places to eat in town, but it seems like this city has the same problem that the other one does, where all of the things say that they're open on Google Maps, but nothing is actually open because it's winter. So finding restaurants in this town is not even feasible. Fuck, it's getting dark. I thought that was a tent. I thought somebody was camping on just the side of the road. I'm not gonna lie, I'm tempted to camp on the beach right there, but I've learned my lesson and I hate sand. Look at how good the headlights are. Holy fucking shit, this bike is so good. I'm pretty sure I'm confident enough to ride this bike on like main roads at night. It's that bright. I can see all of the potholes. If this were my bike right now, I would be terrified that a pothole would come up so fast I wouldn't be able to see it coming. But even on this bike, if there was a hole like that, the suspension is so good, I could probably hit it and not even notice. The suspension on this bike is so good. Just as an example, something like this could come up in the middle or on the side of the road where my bike would be, and I could see it coming from like way back there. I would be worried about this if I was on my bike. On my bike, I wouldn't see that coming until it was literally in my face. One thing that I noticed that is still dangerous about riding at night is when cars are coming at you, their lights are really bright and you can't see fucking shit. And this means that if Nicole is taking the lead, I can also ride at night because her bike can light the way for my bike. So we can both ride at night now.
You left the originally planned tour.
That's especially useful during the winter where most of the time it's just night. Okay, we have officially traveled 30 miles and we still have 60% battery left. So yeah, that means this bike has maybe 80 miles, give or take, without pedaling at all. If Nicole actually pedals the bike, she can easily break 100 miles per charge. But yeah, just electric, this thing can do 80 miles. Honestly, in the cities, riding at night's not a big deal for either bike because the street lights light the street up. Would you believe me if I told you it's not even 6 p.m.? I am home. I guess I'm not camping tonight. And I do believe everything is still here. We got the laptop, tent, all of this stuff. Yep, nothing fell off. And this might seem like a small thing, but just watch this. Notice how it's not tipping over. This bike is so much better than mine. Holy shit. Update. So I'm looking at my backpack right now, the one that I just bought, the brand new one, and it's got a slash up the side of it. And I'm not sure why. It's got another cut right here and right here. I think the metal thing that I built is cutting up my bag. Fuck. Let's go investigate what's happening. Okay, so I'm pretty sure I know what the problem is. See these things right here? I think that these are the things that's cutting the bag. And the reason it's doing it is because the top of the bag is attached right here and the bottom of the bag is attached right here. But this is on a suspension, which means these parts come together, they open and close, which means these parts are going up and down, potentially on a stationary bag, to where they're acting basically like fucking knife blades. I could try to sand them down more. I could possibly like try to... I don't know what I'm going to do to make these things not cut bags. I could possibly take them off and just like try to set the thing here and hope that it doesn't fall into the back of the wheel well. I could possibly put like a metal sheet on the back of the bag, like a metal bar across the back of the bag so that the bag just won't get cut and it'll be metal rubbing on metal. Okay, with this new discovery, it is possible that we might not be leaving tomorrow. I want to. We'll go to the hardware store and we'll see if we can find a solution, but I cannot leave until that thing stops eating up my bag. Like, it cuts straight through. I've got my finger inside the backpack now. What the fuck? Holy shit, that is so bad. Fucking hell. I just realized another thing. So we've got like 4 batteries that need to charge up basically every day, right? Each one of them has their own power supply. Well, they've all got a fan inside of them, and they're kind of loud. Having 4 of these things in a coffee shop, just like... We are gonna attract attention.